Hello, everyone, and a big warm welcome to Mindfulness with Kelly. If you're new, I'm so happy to have you with me. And if you've seen a few of my YouTube channels, I'm so happy to have you back. Today, we're going to be exploring the nature of thoughts, and then we're going to do a guided meditation on reflections. I wanted to start by saying, by weaving our opinions, prejudices, strategies, and emotions into a solid reality, we try to make a big deal out of ourselves. We try to identify with our pain, our problems, but but things are not always as solid, predictable, or seamless as they seem. And in sitting meditation, our practice is to watch our thoughts arise and label them thinking, and then simply just come back to the breath. And that's exploring the nature of reality in the single moment through a meditation practice. And if we try to find the beginning, middle, and end of each thought, we'd soon discover that there is no such thing. We'd soon discover that it's impossible to find. And trying to find the moment when one thought becomes another is like trying to find, a kettle as it starts to boil, the steam that arises from it. I don't think you'd ever discover when boiling water creates the steam. It's just a sort of a seamless process. Yet we habitually string our thoughts together into a story that tricks us into believing that our identity, our happiness, our pain, our problems are all solid and separate identities to our current experience. So it's like they're there and we're here, and we're not kind of oneness with life. And these are always constantly changing. These thoughts are constantly changing. And each thought, feeling, word, it's just a passing memory. It's just something that's passing, coming out of our experience, or we're projecting fantasies of the future. But they're not the nature of reality of now. And wisdom is a fluid process, not something concrete that can be added up or measured. And I always like to picture sort of life as a bit of a dream. Death is a dream, waking up is a dream, and sleeping is a dream. And I highlight that dream state because trying to hold on to any of it by our storyline really only blocks our wisdom and blocks our nature about seeing, the world, for what it is. So that's all I'm going to say about the nature of thoughts, and we're going to do a practical exercise to highlight what I've just said. So if you sit yourself up for meditation practice, you can sit on a chair or a cushion. It'll go for around 5 or 10 minutes, just as long as you have your back straight. And I will guide you through the process. I'll be ringing bells. So when you're ready, just close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just notice if there's any feeling, any pleasant feelings of just closing your eyes. Simply not doing anything can have a positive impact to you. Now just start to feel the weight of your body on the cushion or the chair. And as you feel the weight of your body on the cushion and the chair, just check into your emotional tone. Just check into how you're feeling without judgment. Just see if you can get under the level of thought and just feel however you feel right now. And that could be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And once you just start to settle into your body, just start to notice your breath. And use the breath as an anchor or a focal point of your experience. And just start to notice your breath. Is it shallow or is it deep? And just notice, do you breathe from your chest? Or do you breathe from your stomach? This is where you can just be open and curious about the whole of your experience. Now, as you just follow your breath all the way in and all the way out, it may help for you to count the end of the out breath and count 1. Breathe in and breathe out and count 2. Breathe in and breathe out and count 3. Or you don't have to count, but some people prefer to count. And once you get to 10, just go back to 1 again. And this is when it's a great idea to just be very curious about the nature of the breath. No two breaths are the same. And it's a very simple exercise. So as the breath is an anchor, just notice any thoughts that arise. And we'll just label the thoughts of thinking. Acknowledge the thoughts, whatever thought arises. And then just come back to the breath. Because our mind will have a lot of thoughts. But this practice is about acknowledging the thought that arises, labeling it, and then just coming back to the breath with kindness to yourself and not frustration. And just notice where your thoughts actually come from. Do they come from beside you, behind you, in front of you? Just see if you can notice exactly where they come from. You may never have done this before, but be open and curious to see where one thought ends and another one begins. It's almost impossible to identify this. And if you have some sticky thoughts or thoughts that are quite repetitive, you might even be able to label them more specifically, like partner or work, and not just label them thinking. But it's whatever works for you. Because by acknowledging the thoughts that arise, we're not trying to push them away, we're trying to welcome them, put out the welcome mat for them and allow whatever arises to come to us. And what that does is it allows acceptance. Because the moment we push thoughts away is the moment that they come back with a vengeance. So with your thoughts, just see if you can still anchor your meditation in the breath. Use it just as an anchor. Breathing in and breathing out. And just observe your thoughts, because your thoughts are just like cars passing by. There's no need to engage in them. It's just to acknowledge them, thank the mind for whatever has been brought up, and just come back to the breath. And you do this time and time again. And the moment you wander off, the magic moment is coming back to the experience. That's the magic moment. That's the moment you're meditating, which should be celebrated opposed to getting frustrated. As our minds proliferate our thoughts, our stories, okay, now we're just going to start to let go of the practice. Just start to come back into the room. And again, feel the weight of your body on the floor. And again, check back into how you're feeling. And that's underthought. It's the feeling without thought. And you could feel low energy, you could feel high energy. It's about being open and curious about how you feel right now. Now just feel the clothes on your skin, the temperature of the room, and just acknowledge any sounds inside the room, and acknowledge any sounds just outside the room. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And at this time, I always like to mention that coming out of meditation is a very important part of the process and the absorption. And at this point, I just like to reflect on how I was feeling at the start of the meditation and how I feel now. And just for me personally, there's always a level of calm, or there's always a level of yeah, just my experience changes. A lot of times when I come to the mat, I can be a little bit stressed, or I can be a bit scatty, and then after the meditation, I always just notice a change, and it can be pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, but there is a change. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.